Hello, this is Ben Small, your new virtual ambassador, and I'd like to thank Jenny from Calhoun for this question here. Jenny's question is, how can I teach the importance and impact of the assembly line in a fun and engaging way? Jenny, one of the main things that I do in my classroom is I like to use simulations as much as I can. So here's something that I use that has to do with paper airplanes. So step one, teach your whole class how to make a paper airplane the same way. This is very important they make it the same way, and we'll talk about why in a second. Step two, you're going to group your students in a couple different ways. So you'll have quite a few that are in groups of 4 to 6. You're going to get them to put their desks together. And then you have a few students by themselves. Now the groups are going to represent the assembly line. So each person is going to make one fold and pass it on to the next person. And the individuals, these are what we like to call craftsmen. And they're the ones who are going to make, the best paper airplanes that they possibly can. Step 3 is going to be the actual simulation itself. So you're going to say you have 2 minutes to make as many as you possibly can, and you're going to say go. And at the end of this, you're going to see how many each group has. Step 4, which is optional, but I always let my students do it because it's so hard for them to make something and not be able to throw it across the room. You're going to get each person/group to choose their best airplane. And you're going to do a little test and see how good they are compared to each other. Step 5 is to sort of debrief and sort of talk about what these things mean. So the first question you have to answer is, what do these two groups represent? So like I already mentioned earlier, the groups of 4 to 6 basically represent the rise of factories and working in an assembly line, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And the individuals represent the craftsmen, or the people that are really good at doing, making shoes or whatever their sort of craft is. Another question you have to answer is, which one of these planes would be cheaper? Get your students to think about, what does it mean that we made 12 planes in a group in 2 minutes versus 3 planes by an individual? What does that actually mean for the price of that good? And then lastly, how does this affect American society? Which I would argue is one of the most important questions that you really should always try and answer. So with this decrease in price, what does that mean to the everyday American? So that means they can buy more, which increases demand, which gives people more jobs, etc., etc. If you want to extend this a little bit, I have my students do a think, pair, share, which basically what they do is they try and come up with as many things as possible that is made by an assembly line. I give them a couple minutes, we share out, and then I take it a step further and say, wait, let's think about the opposite. What can you name that is not made by an assembly line? And sometimes that's even harder. If you like something like this and you want to maybe look for some more simulations, there's quite a few out there, but one that I would suggest is something called Mission US. And this is a computer-generated simulation where you essentially get to make choices about certain things. And the students really enjoy it because it's not just them taking notes off of something. They get to sort of put themselves in the shoes of the historical figures. I hope this was helpful. Please email me back if you have any questions, and have a great day.